accessing the great Archangelic, bridge to higher consciousness. So, like I said, in the beginning was the Father, Mother, God. We talked about the great Archangelic is sourced from a higher God form. Is that how you would say it, Michael? The great Archangelic is sourced from a higher God form or source of God than the humans or than the angelic. So the great Archangelic is very close to the Father, Mother, God. It's a triune, split into three. The Father, Mother, God. Okay? Father, Mother, God. Now, of course, the spiritual realms were created, 27 levels above soul. Now, is this literal? Are they like right there, parallel to the great Archangelic, or on the same level? Again, this is just a representation of it. So the soul realm was created. Below that, the 5 levels of creation: physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric. The main point of this slide is the 3 streams that created the great Archangelic. Do you want to say anything?
Looks right.
Okay, just jump in when you want to say something. So there's the 3 streams creating the great Archangelic.
The 3 streams can, let's just talk about a little about that. When you go into the source of the 3 streams we're talking about it's called the Trinity. And if you go above the 27 levels above soul, dimensions of the spirit, and above that there is this Trinity. But the Trinity are not really 3. The Trinity are really one that has 3 aspects, or 3, I don't know what the right word is, 3 premises or principles. And so it's like if you went into it and there's a substance there that's a substance of 3, and that threefold nature of it, in a sense you can know the different natures of it distinct from the others, and yet in a way they're not distinct in terms of time or space or any kind of form that you can understand with your mind. You would know the differences that they're different aspects of the same intention, like different different things summoned from the non-existent into the existent to coalesce to serve this greater one intention. But the way it's drawn there is really effective way of understanding it, because it's like saying, well, 3 streams. But I can talk about it, and it's experienceable, but it's difficult to experience when one is in the normal cognition of time and space, because it doesn't exist in that.
Yeah. Okay. And remember, you do have the archives of all this, so you'll see the whole PowerPoint. Again, you don't have to worry about trying to draw it. So the 3 streams create the great Archangelic. Much further down is the Angelic. Okay, that's why we're saying traffic with the great archangels, not angels. Not that angels are bad. It's just we're interested in going to God. Okay. Now the angelic was also created out of the 3 streams. So the angels are born in a collective, this is my experience, born in a collective consciousness. It's different than the collective consciousness, say, of the elemental, like water, all one. Angels have individual souls. And they also have a collective consciousness. I was in Ojai a few weeks ago, and I was preparing for this class, and so I I don't know that I asked for an experience of it, but I went into this experience of the angelic collective consciousness. And I was walking, and all of a sudden I could barely walk. It was so heavy. I could almost not move my foot. And what I became aware of is in the angelic collective consciousness, it's gorgeous and it's slower. If you have to move a million men across the desert, that's going to take a lot longer than if you have to move one. You see? It's going to move more slowly. You have a whole lot of other things to consider than if you just have one person who's just walking. So our theory is that God decided to try an experiment of the humans, because as you'll see, they're created differently. Because in the humans, we have individuation. We are born in individuation. We are not born in a collective, right? So you can move faster as a human. You know how JR used to say, like, yeah, this place sucks, but souls line up to come here because you grow exponentially here. So, and when I was walking on the golf course, I got an experience of that, of like, yeah, it's gorgeous, but it moves much more slowly. Do they all get there at the same time? I don't know. You're going to have to ask God that question. But, you know, are we all on the same team? Are we all going the same place? Absolutely. It's just different. So, again, our theory is that the reason God created humans is to move more quickly. So the humans were created differently. There's a Father, Mother, God. Two streams. A dyad, not a triune. And the dyad created the humans. Now, if you think of a two-legged stool, that's not very stable. Going to be a lot of movement, much higher creativity than the triune, which is the three streams. Much more creativity, much more difficult. But boy, if you can achieve that, you are a master. Kind of sums up this level. If you don't fall over and kill yourself, you're going to be really cool. Okay? So, it's the human experiment. And you'll see on the next slide, there's other differences. Still, of course, all the rest is the same. Feel free to jump in whenever you want. Now, this slide is about the difference in the spiritual evolution of the human and the angelic. God individuated as souls, human souls and angel souls, and Davic souls and elemental souls, but that's another class. Human and angel souls to know, to experience its creation. Right? So it's like, let there be light on the face of the dark. And then individuation, souls were created to know that creation. Now here's the difference between the angelic and the human. I'm not sure if you guys in the room can read these words down here. Can we make them bigger for them? No, can't make them bigger. Okay, you're going to get it in your archives, and I'll read it to you. So angels are born in full awareness of God and God's will. Right? That's the collective consciousness. They never forget their God. When they are incepted from God, they remember God. They're born in full cognizance of God, and they're one with God's will. That's why us immigrant angels are like, well, you just tell me what to do. Just descend, tell me what to do, and I will go that way. Right? Would that be like kind of refreshing? No choice, just like all the highest choices are very apparent, you know? That's an angel immigrant. Angels, we want to be told what to do. What's the highest action? We will do it. Just tell us, right? Because angels are born in complete cognizance of God's will. They are one with God's will. They can't choose otherwise until they evolve to an archangel. Not a great archangel, to an archangel. That's when they get choice, and that is terrifying for an angel. I mean, I can choose outside of God's will. Give me back my oneness with God's will. But that's how God learns, right? They are born in the angelic collective consciousness, unaware of choice. That's all what we just talked about, okay? Humans, the human experiment. We are born. When I say we're born, it's oversimplifying. It's more like after the veil drops at 7. Sometimes, Mike was saying, sometimes at 2, anywhere between 2 and 7. We're unaware of God. Because, you know, an infant, you look into an infant's eyes and you're transported straight into spirit. Infants are aware of God. It's after anywhere between 2 and 7. So unaware of God, humans were born unaware of God. We don't walk around in God consciousness like an angel, unless you're Jesus. That's cheating. And God's where we're unaware of God's will. Again, we have lots of free choice. We have complete free choice. We can choose to love. We can choose to hate. We can choose to murder somebody. We can choose to run out in the street. We can choose to marry somebody and not somebody else. We can choose all kinds of choices, right? Angels don't have any choice until they evolve to a great archangel. I'm sorry, my bad. Until they evolve to an archangel, okay? Humans are born in individuation. Now, if you wonder why you're not so great with boundaries, angelic collective consciousness. Anybody have a challenge with boundaries? Yeah, right? Angelic collective, me too. Angelic collective consciousness, right? Anybody like just want God to tell you what to do and you'll do it? Yeah. Right? Yeah, seriously, raise your hands on that one, right? Anybody? Yeah, right? Not everybody is like that. People who have spent most of their incarnations in the human, they got different challenges. Right? That's the one with God's will. Want to say anything before we move to the next one?
No, you're going great.
Okay. So, remember I said we're all going to the same place. Co-creatorship as God. Not with God, as God. Co-creatorship as God. Awake, this is where we're evolving. Both the angelic and the human are evolving to co-creatorship as God. God living itself, God remembering itself. Awareness of our individuation while we're equally aware of the allness of God. Awake to spiritual reality while dreaming life. That's an awakened soul, like a JR, like a Jesus, like a Buddha, etc. Okay? So however, how we get there is different. The angels, as they evolve to individuation, seeming separation from the collective. They evolve to free choice. They evolve to choosing God's will as God. Humans evolve to awareness of God, evolve to awareness of the collective, evolve to completely surrendering choice to God's will. Okay? Angels are born to where humans evolve. Humans are born to where angels evolve. Thus does God know and love its creation. That is the advantage of becoming more aware of the angelic. If you get both of those streams, both of those lessons, both of those creation opportunities at once. Rather than just doing one or the other, you can do both at once. Why? Because you're becoming aware, you're awakening to the great archangelic while you're in the human. You have the best of both worlds. So, oops, my bad. Okay. The human, this is just, again, a very simplistic slide to show you the ratios. So we think angels are so exotic, right? We're the exotic ones. There's a gazillion more angels than there are humans. Oh, there's the angels. There's the humans. Now, again, way oversimplified. But there's a lot more of them than there are of us. And those arrows are there to show you that it's permeable. The walls, which are not really walls, between the realms are permeable. And you can go into the angelic realm right now. They come in here right now. That's all through the Bible. Michael, spiritual warrior angel. Gabriel told Mother Mary she was going to be giving birth to Christ. Raphael, they're involved with us. They come into our world. We can go into their world. It's not quite as well known. but we can go into their world. When you commune with an angel, you are going into their world. Again, I'm oversimplifying with the words, because are you really going into another world? No, you're shifting your consciousness. Okay? That is our last slide.